Hey everybody, this is Avalon from Crafts Direct, and in this video I will be showing you how to make some resin coasters. Now I love these coasters because of the different colors, the different shell mix-ins. I think they're just super fun, and I had a lot of fun making them too. So follow along and I will show you step by step how to make these resin coasters. To begin, you are going to want to set up your workspace. You're going to lay down a drop cloth. Make sure that you have proper ventilation, maybe a fan, some windows open. You might even want a mask. Make sure that you have your gloves on. And then you are going to label your small cups with an R and an H for resin and hardener. You want to label the cups so that you can keep using the same cups and so that you're not mixing the two substances until you're ready to mix them. So first you will take your resin and pour it into the cup that's labeled with an R, and then you will do the same with the hardener. And you want to make sure that you are pouring equal parts resin and hardener. And so I like to have my cups side by side and to get eye level with it so that I can see that they are equal. Next, you will pour the resin and the hardener into a larger cup. It doesn't matter which one goes in first. And then because this is a larger project, I repeated the steps that we just did where I poured more resin and more hardener into each of those cups. And that's why it's important that we label them so that the second time we pour, we know which cups to use for which substance. So you will pour the resin and hardener into those cups, and once again pour it into that larger cup that already has the other resin and hardener in it as well. And once you have done that, you will then begin to stir. Notice that at first the mixture is kind of cloudy and you can kind of see both of the parts. And so you will mix until it is clear. That's normally about 3 minutes. So the important part with this is that you stir very slowly. I know it's really easy for me to want to do it fast, but this creates a lot of air bubbles. And so it's important to stir very slowly and to do this for about 3 minutes until you notice that the mixture is clear. After you have stirred for 3 minutes and it looks pretty clear, you will then set it aside for about 5 minutes to let some bubbles rise to the top. You will then take your heat gun and add a little bit of heat to the top to pop some bubbles. Grab your molds and lay out 3 small cups. Those will be for each individual coaster and their specific color. And you will take your resin and pour a little bit into each cup. You will then take your transparent dyes and add some drops to the resin and mix it together. And then pour it into the mold. And I just made sure that I was covering the very bottom of the mold, making sure that it covers it completely and is somewhat equally distributed in the mold. You will continue to do this for each mold, and you will use different colors. I used the light pink first, and then the hot pink, and lastly the purple. Take your heat gun and add some heat to the top and the sides of the resin in the molds. You will then repeat the same steps where you will add more resin and dye to each of the cups, but this time we'll be adding our shell flakes into them, and you will stir it into the resin before you pour them into the molds. If your molds are not filled to the top yet, you will mix up some more resin and hardener and add them to the molds until they fill the top. Once the molds are filled to the top, you will then take your heat gun and add some heat to the top and the sides of the coasters. Set them aside to cure for 24 hours, and then double check to make sure that they are cured and fully hardened, and then you can pull them out of the molds, and that's it. That's your final step. You now can use your resin coasters. Thank you so much for watching this video. You can shop all the supplies to make these resin coasters at craftsdirect.com/projects.